go. Just going to make sure everything's looking good. And if you are joining, say hello. I'd love to see who's joining. We have some fun things today. Some cool stuff. All right. Looks like we're on Twitter, X, and YouTube's. Let's see if we got this stuff working, guys. Quadruple check. All right. It is working. Great. Wonderful. If you're joining, say hello. I'd love to see who's joining. Maybe I should send out a little post. Yeah, if you're joining, say hi. I want to make sure everything's rocking and rolling and working. Maybe I'll take my headphones off because I can't even hear anything. What's up? Thanks for joining. We're gonna do some fun. The fight scene that I was working on yesterday. I did little tweaks to it, some color stuff. I'll show you guys, and then I exported that whole scene out as a USD. We're gonna bring it into Nuke, and we're hopefully gonna do a little bit of. I'm gonna show you some tricks on how to make your renders look better by bringing your whole 3D scene into Nuke, doing some extra matte painting, projections on Geo, all that fun stuff. So it should be pretty cool. It should be a cool stream. We're just going to wait for a couple more people to join. So if you're joining, say hello. Love to see where everyone's joining from. Looks like we have some people on X, and we have some people on YouTube. I was making sure I could do a multi-stream. So hopefully this goes well. Also, I want some of your opinions. I'm revamping my website again, and everyone's going to hate me for that because I've done that so many times. But I wanted to show you guys and get your... I have a little bit of rebranding stuff. So this is where the site's changed a little bit. My logo feels familiar, but I wanted it to be a little bit more... I wanted the title and the symbol to kind of be one. So I did that. And this shows kind of work and whatnot. But then you have our products. And yeah, it's just kind of a new rebrand. If you guys want to work with me, I've made it so people can send me some information about the project they're working on, which is pretty cool. So this is not out yet, but it's going to be, I'm just building it still. The stock effects, they're still the same old. But I'm switching over to Squarespace because, and this is not sponsored, so no one feel like, ads. No, I switched to Squarespace because it feels like it's running smoother. It's loading faster, and the experience as far as checking out is going to be way better because right now I'm using like 18 different things. And then our course, this one is not done yet, but there's me. But yeah, I'm rebuilding the course layout. This is obviously still not done, but I'm gonna have better descriptions, and I have more stuff coming out. And then service, this is something new and cool. People can come in here and see the stuff that we offer. So it's kind of cool. 3D modeling, texturing, lighting, look dev, animation, simulation, compositing. So anyway, kind of fun. This is the what I think I'm gonna run with the new logo, the new kind of feel to it. It feels updated. Feels good. What's up? Thanks for joining. Yeah, say hello. Okay. So should we just jump in? So let me just read in let's find that project really quick. Date modified. I don't know why I'm not using my pen. I have my Wacom right here, and I like to use my pen. It's a little bit easier. Maybe it's on this one. Let's see. Where is that red versus blue file? Sorry guys, I thought I had this all queued up for you. Apparently I do not. Am I going blind? Red versus blue. I guess while we're waiting, I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, so those of you that are just joining for the first time, this is again an animation that was provided to me. It is 1,500 frames of pure action, super epic. And the things that we're going to be doing throughout this project is lighting, look dev, and this is all in Blender, lighting, look dev, comp. I want to do some simulation stuff. And yeah, this is a huge scene, really big. Lots of really cool things going on, but I wanted to work on this live because I think it's valuable to kind of show my process, kind of show what things I think about when I'm doing this. And I have to break the scene up into so many parts, because so many lighting little rigs, because the camera's so dynamic, which makes it awesome. But I talk a lot about, like last stream, I talked a lot about like creating separation between foreground and background, because they can become easily, just when you're adding volumetrics and you're adding all this other stuff, they can get lost in the details. I mean, they can get lost in the background. So if I show you, this is kind of where I started doing some of the lighting and explaining what gobos are. The interesting is these, let me turn this off. Extras, relationship lines, cursor. Okay. So all of these, the light shafts coming down here, those are from these gobos. And so they made a cool texture on the ground. And the material on those are just like gray. Like they're totally gray. They're not very interesting. But because we have these gobos with textures, it actually makes it look like the rocks have texture. These are like rock formations, which is kind of fun. So yeah, adding textures onto your lights is going to give make it more interesting. The other thing that we did was, when we didn't have this light on right here, is on his back, is you couldn't see his silhouette. He was very much like bleeding into the background, and I wanted to create some separation because of the poses are so dynamic and so interesting. And then I liked playing with, because the characters are red and blue, I thought that'd be fun to do, kind of follow that theme. And so I made my sunlight a little bit more like its sun's totally setting, and I used the sky texture, and I added in a lot of air if you look down here. And so that made the sun a little bit more hot, and then these blue beautiful like beams coming in, which is adding that fun stuff in there. So yeah, and you'll see throughout this process, what I end up doing is finding moments where we can add some silhouettes. So adding that blue in there, cutting him out. It's really just creating a separation. That's what we talked about yesterday, and doing light linking. If you don't know what light linking is, it is enabling a light to only affect one object at a time or two objects. So you want to constantly be light linking and enabling all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what we talked about yesterday. I rendered out one frame, and then I also came in here and I did an export as a USD. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into Nuke, and I was going to import that USD file. So, but first I have to find it, and my eyes aren't working. Oh, there it is, red versus blue. Let's see if this USD file will open. Create all in one node. Let's see what happens. It's a big file, so I didn't do just the environments. Maybe I should have just done some objects, but I was like, it's fine. I'll import the entire scene. And see what happens. And we might have crashed it because the scene was huge. And if we crash it, that's okay. Because what I'm going to do is I'll just select the objects that I need, and we'll do like a limbic. Good job, Aaron. I crashed it. Nice. DVS, yeah. Lots of light linking. Super good. Like, I think that's something that people forget to do is, a lot of like beginning artists is they don't realize how many lights are actually in scenes. If you talk to people that work at studios, it's like they're using a lot of lights. It is rare where it's like, no, we use like one light. It's usually like, no, this whole scene was just filled with lights. All right, so I probably crashed Nuke, or I'm gonna hurry and task manager this thing really quick. Sorry guys, and kill it because I think I heard it. I have too many things running. I'll reopen it in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of here, and we're just going to select the stuff we need, including the camera. So I know from this perspective, and we only need one frame. So I'm just going to do one of these, and I'm going to unselect my characters and make sure we have all of that stuff selected. And then we're going to find my camera. And I believe the camera that we're viewing through is the dolly camera. Okay. Then I'm going to just do an export. We'll do an Alembic this time. And we'll make sure we hit selected only. And do we do every frame? I don't need to do every frame. So we're just going to go to frame 100 for now, just because I'm not needing to do all of it. I just want some of it. And you can see it's going to play through a little bit. What's up, Prath? How's it going? Yeah, if you guys are joining, I'd love to hear where you're from. And yeah, love to hear from you. So let's see if that worked now. We're going to bada bing, bada boom. And while that's booting up, you have good old Nuke Indie. Okay, guys, let's fingers crossed, read geo. And we're going to go into here. And again, why can I not see? Am I going blind? Sorry, guys, let's find this really quick. Red versus blue. Is this the one I just did? Here we go. Okay, so we got these scenes. You can select them both and do a scene node. It's going to connect them. And let's see if we can look through. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. Okay, it looks like that came in. And I didn't want that. There's a fog asset in here that I don't want. So I can turn that off and that one. And let's see if our camera's gonna move around. Okay, good. We got our camera data in there, and we got that other thing in there. Wonderful. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up projecting and doing some texturing on some of those cliffs. So I should be able to go into, there we go. There's our camera view. So we can see our camera that's animated right there. And then let me bring in, turn off the ground plane. Also, if you ever want to view the wireframe, sometimes I come in here when I'm solid wireframe. So even when I'm not selected, I can kind of see it. That's in our display, and then textured will be when we put our fun stuff on there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to read in R and Nuke and go back, and I did this quick render. Now you're going to see, why isn't it working? Well, it's because we need to shuffle. This is a multi-layered EXR, and you come in here. Here's the combine. But why does that not look like our render? It's because it's an AGX. So hit S. The first things you want to do in Nuke always is set up HD. Make sure it's the same size, and then you come in here and you need to change your color config file. This one was ACES, but we're not using ACES. We're using this AGX, and make sure it's the same AGX file that you're using in Blender. So now we have it in the right color space. And some of the things that I have in here is, you'll see I got the AO, so we can use that. We have some crypto mats, a depth map. If you plug that into here, I believe in you. There we go. Gamma this thing. You can see where our depth is. Why is it so noisy? It's because we had volume. So this can also become a problem sometimes. So actually, a lot of times I'll do a render without the volumes on my view layers. So in Blender, you'll want to create a whole new view layer, one that is just volumes and one that is just your like geometry. And then you're going to render those two things out and bring them together in Nuke. Because this is a reason why when you're doing a multi-layer EXR with depth in here, it's going to give you a ton of problems. So just remember that. And I'm going to turn this on to 1 so that we don't have all that. Okay. So there you go. We have a bunch of things that we can use in here. We have the direct diffuse. We have, let's see, indirect. Why isn't it showing? Oh, that's because it's way down there. See, there's the direct diffuse. And then we also have the environment. That one's going to show up. Any emissions, we didn't do any emissions. Glossy, so here's all of the glossy stuff. So if you want to enhance some of that stuff, you can. Indirect glossy. These are pretty noisy. Mist pass. So this is nice. You can technically use this as a depth pass. It's not the same, but I could use this to grade stuff. Let me give you an example, shall I? I think if we plug that into here, see, we're going to get that. You didn't miss anything yet. I just rendered out a quick still frame. Beep, beep. What frame was this? Oh no, that's what I was supposed to remember. I think it's 37. I got to confirm it really quick. I should have written that in the, yeah, I think it's frame 37 is the one that I did. So I rendered a multi-layer EXR so that we can show some cool compositing tricks. And then I also brought in the entire, not the entire, just 100 frames of this animation without the characters, because we're going to do some cool things. But I was going to show, so if you use your mist pass, so if I hit G, make a grade node, and because we have an alpha in this, you can do fun stuff, and you plug that into the mask of the grade. If you want, you could grade up your background a little bit, or gamma it up if you want to make it look a little bit more misty, and maybe you want to push that towards more blue. And just like that, we were able to add in, that was that mist pass, and you can quickly start making it feel like there's more volumetrics than there actually is. And if you wanted to get real fancy, I'm not going to do this yet, but I was going to, well, maybe I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys some cool things, okay? We're going to show some of my favorite tricks. That's what we're going to do today. So because you have your camera data, now you can do some really awesome stuff. If you take this pass, this mist pass, and you multiply a noise. So if you have this noise, like an advanced noise, this noise, and you're like, we're going to multiply it by this so that it doesn't feel just like blah. Watch this. Okay, that's in the over. Let's do a multiply. You guys see where I'm going with this? We're going to get some interesting stuff. And the cool thing about the noise, this little plugin, if you add speed, watch this. I'm going to exaggerate it just for you guys. So it's going to go quick. They have this is such a cool tool. So it's like mist, like rising. And then you'd also do a speed translation in this way. So now it's like stretching and it's kind of rising. That's way too fast. We'll just do a subtle one. And if you're like, it needs to be like undulating is the word I was just thinking of. Okay, so you have that. Great. But the problem is, so yeah, you can see, oh cool, we have mist. And then I plug that into here. And I'm going to exaggerate this so you guys can really see its effect. But see how we just by adding this noise, I'm going to go before, after. It's just adding, sorry, I'm going to crank this up so you can see where this is. You're adding like a bunch of texture in the mist that, and it's all animated. But the problem is the camera's moving. So what do? Well, we have our camera and we have our noise. So we could add what's called a card 3D. And this card doesn't need this scene node right here. It doesn't need a full 3D scene. It just needs the camera and it needs an image. And if I click on that, it's going to now put it in 3D space. I'm going to hit tab to get to our 3D window and get boop out of here. And we can see that we have this card floating in 3D space. And if I want to know where it is, I can, I'm going to turn on two of these so that I can have these both open at the same time. So the card, come on now. There we go. So now we know where our card is in 3D space, and we can move it around and scale it up. And we can see that now this mist is going to move in 3D space with us. So that way it's not just like stuck. And you'd have to do some masks and all this other fun stuff to make it fit in. But now we have this 3D smoke and it's matching our camera. Now when we multiply this, and we only have one frame. So we only have one frame rendered out. But if I had all the frames rendered out, this mist would be matching perfectly. And we got that all for free. Bada bing, bada boom. You got some little clouds that are going to match. It's going to match our camera. Let's say you have a problem, guys. Yeah, man, we got a problem. The problem is we don't want the mist to go in front of some rocks right there. Well, this is why we love multi-passes even more. You can do a crypto matte. And I have found that Blender's crypto mattes are really good. I've had problems with other software having weird glitchy problems. For some reason, Blender's Cycles has really good crypto mattes. And a crypto matte, if you don't know what it is, this beautiful thing, it allows us to select any object. I turned it on in Blender. If you go into your Blender and you go into your multi-passes, come all the way down here, crypto matte. Crypto mattes make it so you can do it for a material, an asset, objects. They used to be called puzzle IDs. People would use puzzle IDs and all that crap. But using crypto mattes is just a huge time saver. Let's say you're like, I don't want the mist to go in front of him or this or that, right? You just create masks, and then I hit A to show the alpha, and there you go. You have a mask, and it's amazing. So crypto mattes are the way to go. Anytime you do any rendering out, multi-layer EXR, crypto mattes. They will save you so many times when you're like, oh man, it's not supposed to pass through that. This stock effect, you have this. So boom. Then what you could do is you could take your crypto matte. Sorry, this is going to get really messy. So those of you that are Nuke compositors, please forgive me. And so right now it's doing an over, but if you were to do like a stencil, it's going to cut it out. So there you go. See, I'm showing you guys a lot of things. These are a lot of things that I like absolutely love. Did we have to use advanced noise? No, we could have brought in some stock smoke, some really nice looking stock smoke effects. And maybe I'll just drag one in really quick and go into my assets. I think I have some in action VFX. And let's find there's some lingering smoke. It's going to give me an error because it says, hey, I don't know what color this is. So there you go. And so we just switch it. And now you can see it's in there, but it's really hard to see. Maybe we could do a super... Wait, where is it? Oh, it's not... Oh, that's why. I know why. Because this doesn't have an alpha. See, it's just when I hit A, it's just a full image. This is when you'd use what's called the keyer, and it's going to do like a luma key. And so I can see this, if this is what I want in there. Now we have that on here. We're multiplying it, stenciling those other things. There you go. Now you can see it in there. I'm just doing this to show you really quick. Yeah, and finally, what's up? Yeah, I was streaming years ago and I stopped for a long time, so I thought it's time to come back home. It's time. So yeah, look at that. We got some smoke in there, and the cool thing is this thing lives in 3D space and it's fully tracked in. And this is just us doing it straight onto a grade node. I know I could have just done this straight on the card, done a bunch of other stuff, but I wanted to show you guys how cool this is. So yeah, that would match. And then if you ever have super fast moving smoke, yes, I am streaming on YouTube. Right now I'm streaming on YouTube and on Twitter live. So if you go to my YouTube, it's going to be youtube.com/VFX Central. It looks like we have 7 people on YouTube and we actually have 31 on Twitter. I'm not doing any deep. This is all pure mist, depth, and I mean, we could do a point cloud from this stuff too. So the other thing I wanted to show, yeah, and this is going to get messy. So again, I'm going for speed. I'm not going for beauty right now. So now that we have this, we're supposed to be at frame 37 is where this animation actually is supposed to, where I rendered that one frame. This is just a 1-frame animation. So come on now. Okay, so frame 37, this should line up with our camera in here. What we can do is, excuse me, we can paint on this geometry. And this is when we use what's called projections. So I'm going to show you a little bit of projections. This is if you are a Blender artist and you truly want your renders to look way more cinematic. Comp is going to take it there. You have to be good at comp to make your stuff look better. Like 3D will get you far, and then like comp is going to like throw it over the line. So yeah, get good at comp. So what we're going to do is we're going to project on some of this geometry right here that I exported out. And just like all you Blender artists know, projections, you project from view and all that fun stuff, we're going to do the same thing. So what we need is a scanline render. This is how we're going to render this thing out. Connect it to the object and connect the camera right there. So this is when you're rendering it out. And if I go there and hit tab, this is the render that we're getting out of the scanline render. It's boring. And that's because the display is just texture and there's nothing really on it yet. In our alpha, that's what the alpha looks like. So we need to be able to paint directly on this and add that extra details, those extra details. Well, you need what's called the project 3D node. And you're going to plug it in, above this, into our geometry, and it's going to say, hey, I need a camera. We know that the camera is animated, so it needs to project from 1 frame. So what you can do is a frame hold. The other thing you can do is sometimes this is, I've had a weird glitch before with frame hold, doing this and then plugging it in. But if that doesn't work, duplicate your camera and delete all the animation and just keep the 1 frame, and you'll be good. So it says I need a camera to project and I need an image. And just for kicks and giggles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to project our render on this just to show you guys. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to project it onto our, and let me turn on, sorry guys. I'm going to do texture and wireframe. I'm going to project onto that geometry. So if I plug this into here, you're like, okay, that's cool. We're getting our image. Like what's it doing? Well, let's go look in 3D land and see what's actually happening. And let me turn on textured. And if I get out of this view, we are projecting right onto our geo. So this is when we get some cool things we can do. Some really cool stuff. Because if you can project any image onto the geo, well, now you can start painting onto your geometry. You can take 1 frame into Photoshop and we could add in a ton more detail. Like let's add it, we could add in some rocks. And I'm going to close Blender so that we can save some of our compute. Save, I just saved it, closed it. Let me make sure I still have Photoshop running. And then we're going to take this frame, add some rocks and stuff in Photoshop. Come on now. Is anyone else's Photoshop been giving him issues? Because mine sure does. It gives me issues. I guess it doesn't want to start. Fine. We don't want to do that. What we're going to do then instead Will I make dedicated videos on Blender Plus in the future? Yeah, that's what we're doing right here. And I'm going to continue to do a lot of Blender, Nuke, and Houdini. And we're going to also do Houdini sims in this, and then we're going to bring them all in together. But I thought this would be a really cool lesson. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to actually project a rock texture because Photoshop clearly isn't working. So let's go to, what is it, textures.com. Isn't that what it's called? CG Tech. And we're going to find some rocks or something. Free. I want abstract. I guess we could use something like this. What do you guys think? Seamless. Let's just do one of these. Okay, let me move this here so no one can translate my... There we go. I'm just going to do this because why not? Okay, I'm going to drag this texture in. Why is it red? That's odd. No idea why it came in red. That's very odd. Is it because it's a TIFF? Whatever. We're just going to do a sat. What the heck? Am I like missing something? I'm not in like red channel. All right, for some reason that'll work. Sorry guys, let me just grab a different texture because that was dumb. Grunge, ground, gravel, ice. Where's rock? There's rock. Are any of these for free? Let's see. I have 0 credits. Where's the free? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry guys. Please stay with me for a second while I find a good rock texture. Are these the only free ones? And it gave me the... All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Mega scans. Or let me check my asset library really quick. If you guys have questions while I'm browsing for this really quick, ask me some questions. I'd love to hear. I'm gonna read some... That's because the texture is only one channel by default. Nuke. Oh, it was one channel. Let me shuffle in the other ones then. You're probably right. Would I just shuffle? Yep. There we go. I just shuffle that into all of that. Okay. So there we go. We're gonna project this onto there. And why is that? There we go. So yeah, we could take something like this texture, right? And it looks really flat, but if we took something like this and we, oh gosh, dang it. If I, move the camera around, you'll see it's sticking directly to it. So now that's going to give us just a little bit more detail. And once we have that out there, you could take it and then you'd put on top and you do, let's say, an overlay. But again, we have, isn't it overlay? Or we could do, I know, a multiply and then you add the multiply on top. And it's supposed to be, we're going to go to frame 37. 37. But because he's crossing, or we have that problem with him in front of it. And if we just went on the rocks, this is when your crypto mat would come in to play. So we could do, again, don't look at how ugly my node graph is. The crypto mat comes back to save the day. Can I plug this in anywhere? I just had that thought. Can I plug it in here? Oh, you can. Guys, don't pay attention how bad this is. Don't judge me. And let's say we don't want it to affect the ground, any of that, anything back there. We just want it on those rocks. Mask it. It looks like we got to invert that. And then you'd come in here and you could do some like gamma. There you go. That's just super quick. You can do it that way. Super easy. And you could even do a bunch of other masking with your projection before you even do it on top. But it just is a quick way to get some extra detail. Like, and again, I would go into Photoshop, take one frame. Technically, you could just, go in, paint a frame, paint some detail that you like, project it on, and done. Any software that has camera tracking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see, I'm sorry, I'm reading what it says. I recently started using Synthesize. Synthesize is amazing. I agree. Synthesize is one of the best. I actually used Blender Tracker on a project the other day, and I was very impressed with Blender's Tracker. Not gonna lie. I was like trying to figure out which software to use, and I did a quick track in Blender, and yeah, it actually surprised me how well it held up. So yeah, this is, just a quick way to get some of that extra detail right in there. And let's see a before and after. Again, I probably would have done this before I did the mist. So I probably would have done da 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 da. Oh, this is gonna be, I can't do it like that because I have this thing all chained up weird. That one would go here. This one, I know, I can hear 1,000 cries of comp artists being like, what are you doing, dude? Oh yeah, that one's supposed to be in there. Okay, sorry, this is a huge mess, but I'm just showing the idea. What's up, Scott? Yeah, doing another stream for you guys. I'm going to try to, my goal is to do these daily. I know, daily. We'll see if I can pull it off. I'm going to try my best, but I feel like there's so much, so many cool things that I like to show off in compositing. But so I'm going to go back up towards the top of this chain because I like to just show you guys all the tools that you have when you render out multi-passes. Another one that I really like that I find myself using is a normal pass. And why do I like normal passes? Is spaghetti. Yeah, no, it's spaghetti. This is totally no spaghetti. It's all over the place. Another reason why I like the normals is because it's a quick way to correct, if you have some, just some lighting stuff you want to fix and you're like, I want like brighter just on this side versus this side. So I'd come in here, or I'm just going to do a color correct. I know people don't like using color correct nodes, but hit C. I'm going to jump back up here and you'd plug your mask into there. And then when you're doing your, when it's asking, what do you want to do it by? Oh my gosh. I believe we do it. You can do it by like red, the red channel. And there's our red channel. And so when you look at it in here, let's say we gain it up. Now we're able to, or we want to really saturate the red channel or desaturate it like that. Because you have your red, green, and blue channel. And that's what those are all doing. And these are all great masks that you can use in here. And so, yeah, you're able to come in here and if you're like, yeah, we want that side where the sun's coming from and need to dial her down a little bit, you can do that super quick. And then you go down the chain, and man, that projection looks really bad, so I apologize for that. Again, I would have gone in here and done a couple other things to spruce it up. Like sometimes I could do, I was going to see if that was going to save any of, nope, that did not save anything. Maybe another grade node. Bring that down. And then sometimes if I'm doing like a texture like that, I would just do it a little bit more subtle like that. And then again, I'm going to show you, this is another thing I really like doing in here. So much to learn from this. Wait, so much things to learn even from the webcam due to 3-point lighting setup, which is very common used in the film CGI shots. Yeah, my webcam. Yeah, we talk about that separation if you have a dark side. And another really good article, I posted this in the last stream, is CG cinematography blog. Super good. You'll learn a ton from that. So I'm going to show you guys my things that I do all the time. And I did this on this last stream, but I love glows. I know, but I do. Always adding glows in there. And oh, let's say up at the top, we're like, you know what? I want to add more shininess. There's different ways you can do, there's subtractive, and I think I made a note for that. Nope, I didn't build it. You can do subtractive compositing, or you can do like additive. There's just different ways you can do things. So essentially, subtractive, let me just show you guys, this is just another technique. Again, forgive my nodes. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. So subtractive is like saying, let's subtract the glossy. Let's subtract, or let's see, yeah, we're doing glossy, not indirect. Let's subtract this from this, right? So you're like, what would it look like if I did, and I think it is the from, if I removed that from this image, and then you would say, I want to add it back on top, right? So, do you do plus after? Or no, it doesn't, yeah. So this image should look the same as this image. I'm clicking on these two different points. But there's this in between where I'm removing it, and then I'm adding it back on top. And because you removed it and you're adding it back on top, you can add in like the grade node, or, you know, gamma, whatever you want. You could come in here and start playing with all this stuff. And is it because I did a plus? It's supposed to be on over. No, it looks the same. Okay. Yeah. So if you were wanting to, sorry guys, let me make sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Huh. Or you're like, oh my, I'm gonna turn down the side. Wait. From basically, yeah, you really like to subtract a comp workflow. Yeah, I usually do additive because I'm lazy, but what am I doing wrong here? That's my question. I frommed it, and then I'm adding this on top of this. But it's like doing some janky stuff when I put the saturation. Either way, it allows you to add back, you know, some cool, you can add on top of it. You can subtract, take it away from it, and add it back on top. So that's like the subtractive way. So I could have done that and plugged that in up here. But I'm going to be lazy. I'm trying to think the best way to do this is just, you could either rebuild it or whatever, but let me take this, disconnect it. I'm going to try to jimmy this in, guys. This is embarrassing. There you go. That's all I wanted to show you guys is look. We're able to add more highlights in the reflections just like that. No, here's more techniques and things. Here's the things that I add all the time, and this is again preference. I always love halation. This glow is too intense. Halation is what you get. I'll see if I can exaggerate it. It's like the red fringe around stuff, like when you get really hot stuff. You'll see it make like a, see up here. It adds this like red halo around stuff. And I think part of the problem is this went too hot. Oh, you don't want to go below those values. I just wanted it more subtle. But yeah, halation's gonna, and if I really crank it, you'll see. It just adds this like red fringe around hot spots. The other thing that I really like to add always, you already know, chromatic aberration. There's chromatic blur. That's something sometimes I add. And this will do, let's see if I can give it, like you had like a lot in the red channel. And it's not quite the same as chromatic aberration because this happens across the whole thing. It's not happening like on the fringes. But like when I was working on some Arri Alexa footage, I started noticing it had a green fringe. And I don't know if it was because the lens we were working, but I had a fringe like the edges of stuff had this like little, this little hint of green. And I was trying to match it. And so I used this and it's blurring just the green channel. But you have to think of, if this was filmed, what type of things would it have on it? Well, it would have like lens distortion. It would have a bunch of stuff. It would have depth of field. I was going to see if we could I was going to see if I could shuffle in my mist pass into my Z depth because yeah, we'll see or I'll just try, let me just try one thing before I put in all those effects. We're going to come back up here. And I think, yeah, it's the anamorphic. This is like one of my favorite things, favorite little plugins. It's an anamorphic one. And I was going to see how it does some stretching, but if I don't want that, breatheless. And it looks like it's actually defocusing some of it. But you also get this astigmatism, which is, if you look on the edges, anamorphic lenses will blur around the edges of stuff. It'll give you, yeah, there you go. You can see it. It'll like blur it because it's a lens. And so I always love to have that on, even if it's subtle. It's such a, like a photoreal thing. And then you'll see as it goes in towards the middle, it's still sharp. But that's just something I really like, a look-alike. And they have the different like Panavision, anamorphic, different lens models. If this is 50 mil, and you can do an expand, so it's gonna, you have no lens distortion. Let me crank this up to like 5 to see if that did anything. Nope. Breathing is anamorphic lenses when you because they're oval shaped, when you like change focus, they actually do what's called breathing. They'll stretch or compress, and so if you see that when they rack focus, they'll do things like that. So another cool little thing you can get in there. I'm going to disable depth of field. Well, let's see if I can even. I'm going to see if this one's even working. I wonder if I could use the mist pass. Would it work? No. The mist pass might be working right in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think the mist pass worked for depth of field. It's doing that little edge thing, which I don't love. And this is where I'm like, if one of you knows the best math to do. I am always confused by that. Because we get those stupid edges. That edge. So I never know which one is the best one to use. Okay, sharp there. But now you can see if I turn this on and off. I'm going to crank this up so you guys can see what's happening. Oh, you got to turn the maximum up. Let's see. I'm doing this to exaggerate. Yeah, it's not giving me what I want. See how it's like doing some crazy stuff around the edge of him? I don't like that. So I got to figure out which math algorithm thingy to use. Let's try. And turn off the breathe list thing. Okay. So is this near and far? I'm trying to see if that's... Yeah, see how it's so bad looking around the edges? You guys, that's not what we want. Yeah, I got to figure out how to fix those edges using this. That's the one really annoying thing. But anyway, we're going to keep moving forward. And I'm going to just show you all the things I like to do. There's some things about this I don't love that's happening. And I feel like it's partially this is the culprit, is what I do with the highlights. Yeah, I didn't like what I did with that. So I'm just going to turn that off. And let's figure out, I think this is still way too intense. We're going to turn that all down. I just want it more subtle. But I also like the edge blur. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to go to, sometimes I like to just go down and add all the things that I like and then dial them where it looks good. So I know I'm going to do some chromatic aberration stuff. And then I'll usually add like a color correct near the end. So we'll do color correct. And this is where I'll start playing with like the look of it, like how much gamma, because then I can go back up to the top and figure out all the other stuff I wanted to add to it. See, he's too dark and like contrasty, so I'm like, I would have to go back and adjust that. And the cool thing with the crypto mats is you can do it that way, you know. I can go back up to the top and be like, you know what, sir? We don't like the way you're looking. Whoop. So, why am I using color correct mode so much, guys? And I can do my crypto mat, plug that sucker in and say, hey, you, change. I don't like the way you are. And maybe we're like, hey, background. We're going to do the same thing, crypto mat. And we're going to say him, but this time, actually, I don't need to even do that. What am I doing? I can come in here and just invert that and be like, I want the background to be a little bit darker so he pops out a little bit. We're just going to see what that looks like. Go down the chain. See, he's got too much freaking glow going on because of the tolerance level, and I think we had the same problem with the halation. Yeah, oh yeah, that's because our black point was there. What the heck? I'm going to crank up the global amount and just see what that does. Didn't do it. Oh, there we go. I'm wondering if, was I supposed to do my glow in front of that? No. Yeah, so the nice thing is because we have these grades up here, you can start really playing with everything right there. That's pretty sweet. If you guys have any more questions while we're still going, go ahead, feel free to ask. Coming down, back down here, gamma. Maybe we want to push that towards more of a blue feel. And then if our highlights are too intense, sometimes those hit hot. And oh yeah, the other thing I really like to do, add that toe. Toe is going to lift up some of these black areas just a little bit. See that? It's subtle. And then you'd add, and I always do the Luma grain. That's obviously too much, but yeah, that's kind of what I start doing. Start adding some of that fun stuff in. Could even add, I don't even know. But yeah, once you add in that toe and the grain at the bottom, sometimes I like to lay out the bottom part and then I can go back and I can adjust stuff because it helps me see what's gonna, like what my goal is, and then make those little adjustments. But you can see, like, without some of the Cryptomat grade on him, it's just too harsh. And without this one, let's see what this would look without it. I'm like, the background might be too light. Yeah. So yeah, I had to just try out. What's up? I go by Zach. How are you? So yeah, there's a couple of things we like to do in there. I used to add the diffuse glow, but it all depends on what you're trying to get in there. Oh, that's not too bad. It does like this little bit of a soft little thingy. I know another thing that a lot of people do is this is like the log to lin. Oops. Sharpening. Let me just show you what that is. So you take it and you go lin to log, so you're making it more linear. You add a sharpen, and then you go back to log. Come on now, to lin. So all it's doing is it's making it flat, sharpening it in the flat state, and then re-putting back on. And basically you're able to get a nicer looking a nice sharp look. But sometimes sharpen looks too much. I just wanted to come down here and see if that's something I like. Maybe I hate it because I'm doing a lot of blurring and other stuff. Yeah, I added some of that. Like you can see a lot more of that detail for sure on his suit. I don't know what happened to my grade node. Did I like break it by making it log to lin? Let me see if I broke it. Did I break my crypto? Oh, it kind of messed up. Did it mess? Interesting. Okay, so that can't go there. Can I put it near, like, before my glows and stuff? Let's move it down here. Yeah, sometimes I try stuff and I'm like, that didn't work. Yeah, I think that works further down the chain. I just don't know where I'd want to put it because, yeah, sharpening can make a lot of weird artifacts and weird stuff. But Sorry guys, I gotta check a couple things. Beep. Okay. Yeah, so that's a couple of things I like to do. I think, let me check down here and see if sometimes the grain node doesn't work if you don't have a alpha, but it's working. Kind of bummed about the depth on this thing. There's without it. It's much sharper. I think I'm gonna just, what does it look if I disable the depth? Man, I like want it, but it's not doing what I want. It's doing that stupid halo-y thing on his face. I don't like that. So I'm just going to turn it way down. How if I turn that off? Let's see. No lens distortion. Breatheless. See, it's still doing some weird stuff. Anyway. There we go. We did some fun stuff in there. Yeah, and that was just one frame of this long animation. And yeah, like I said, the fun thing is being able to do all these projections on here. I want to go back up to this. The other things I could have done is if I didn't want to do this texture, I can just directly paint on the thing, which is cool. Let me just show you. Sometimes I'll do this. You can add like a paint, and let's just say I was like, oh, I'm gonna paint all of that except for nope, because I'm supposed to change the lifetime. Boom, plug that in. It's gonna say how long I want it on all frames. So let's just say, I'm painting some stuff in here. That's cool. Yeah, so I could have just, and then I just don't have it on there. And you see you have it right there. Come on now, I didn't want the viewer in there. So I could have just projected this on. And I'm wondering if I can real time. Oh yeah, you can. See, I'm projecting, but I'm also able to like paint right on, and it's being multiplied. So this is because, going down the nodes, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. We can do fun stuff in here. Compositing, I've been using it a lot lately. AOVs is your depth mat coming from the depth blur. I think I was using the mist. Let me try the depth. I was having problems with the freaking depth map because I had position. Where's my mist? Diffuse. Oh, Z depth. Let's see if that fixes it. Let me try a Z defocus, and we're gonna try it this way and not do the anamorphic one. And plug that one in. I'm gonna turn off that. Let's say. See, it's still giving us that stupid halo. And Composite Academy, I know you're a genius, and so I'm curious how to get rid of that stupid edge. I know I've seen some people, it's like, oh, automatic sampling. I don't know why it has those nasty edges when I do depth stuff, but it is so annoying. Yeah, it's so I think a lot of that too is because my depth pass has stupid volumes in it. Sorry, I'm saying stupid a lot. It has volumes in it, and so I should have done a pass with no volumes. Whereas if I do it in the mist, it's clean, but it's not right. Yeah, it's so bad. Like, yeah, it gives, there's so many nasty, like, and I know the mist isn't the same, but yeah, it just is doing some weird stuff. I hate, yeah, see, it's blurring, it's not blurring like in depth. It's like seeing like the edge of the character, and it's like blurring him. Like some of his pixels are like stuck in weird space. I don't know. Yeah, it's doing some janky stuff. So I always like, I feel like a lot of times, like when I'm learning, is I'm just turning things on and off all the time to see what works. I'm like, did that work? Nope. Did that work? Nope. Did that work? Nope. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's doing some janky stuff, and I don't like it. So who knows, guys? So is what it is. But yeah, I seen in my anamorphic one when I had it on mist, it looked better. It wasn't perfect. There's still that haloing, but anyway, volumes will mess with depth for sure. Yeah. So that's what we learned. Don't render a pass with your volumes if you're doing a Z depth. Two separate. Have them two separate things, and you'll be okay. You'll be all right. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what we talked about today. Just really quick, like cool techniques, little fun things you can do with your renders. Again, I'm always ending mine with my toe and Luma, or my Luma grain, and yeah, just fun playing on this project. I think it'll be really cool when we're done. But I'm gonna probably do tomorrow either a actual client project live streaming it, because he gave me permission to do that, and so I might just do a live stream where I'm just working and showing you guys what I'm doing. I think it's gonna be Houdini stuff, and if I'm not doing that project, if I don't start that one, then we're gonna be doing more of this in the morning again. We'll do more, yeah, just more of this cool fight scene, and I'm gonna show you guys the animation again, those of you that haven't seen it. And yes, it's so much fun. Anyone else excited for Blender 4.2 coming out? Raise your hand, because I'm sure excited. I know. I've had a lot of people giving me a lot of a lot of crap about being like, you switched from Cinema to Blender, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, hey, don't knock it till you try it. I'm sorry. Like, those of you that just hate to hate, I'm like, give it a shot. Try it on one project and then come back and talk to me and be like, yeah, this thing is pretty rad. Yeah, this scene's going to be sweet. So some things that I really want to do in this, obviously do some particles and stuff. Oh yeah, I was going to show you another cool thing about Blender is the thing I really like too is this, being able to be like, I'm going to make, turn off the cursors, turn off the relationship lines. This annotation thing is rad. So if I'm like, okay, I need to make a note right here, and when this hits, goosh, I'm going to have like ground crack. Boom. And then when he throws him, let's say, this is just good for like notes if I want to remember. Like if he throws him super hard, maybe I would add like some little wind trails, so it's like, like off his feet. Like it's foam. And then, you could add another, like almost like off the wings of planes, like when he hits like a super high velocity, adding right here. This is gonna be Houdini sim. Oh my gosh, why isn't the annotation working right there? Is it because it's behind something? I thought I could draw over everything. That's weird. Well, it was cool for a second. I don't know why the annotation's not working right there. That was weird. What on earth? Okay, it's not going where I want it to. 3D placement. Oh, view. There we go. Yeah. So you can come in here and make notes to yourself so you don't forget stuff. Like, okay, right here, I want this to crack, maybe even break off, and we do like a Houdini sim. Go. Boom. And then I can't remember how to do it. It's like one frame. So things running. Yeah. Crash. Maybe, you know, dust. I don't know what that plane is. I can turn these planes off. Yeah. So you can come in here, make another note, like smoke, douche, Houdini smoke sim, and dust, crash, right? I was gonna see. How do we do the one frame? I don't want it to do infinite. I just want like, is it breakdown key? I can't remember. Nope. There's a way to make it so the keys will turn on and off. I can't remember. Yeah, so that's all dust, dust, dust. Dust settles, maybe. For sure right here, I would add shoom. Like trails. Like that is so rad. Such great poses. Like I'm wondering if I had like a stream coming off of his feet or like his fist. And then of course, and he hits. Boom. Sorry guys, you got to do the sound effects. Do like shockwave. Skillz. If you don't do sound effects, like, yeah, you have to do sound effects. I don't know where else to go with that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, these are all fight, fight, fight. Like nothing. I did have the idea of like, just while they're fighting, like this planet dying, which would be cool. Just a bunch of sims like this piece is like they're on a dying planet, and like this whole piece like falls, just like keeping the environment alive. Like this thing just starts crumbling. I think that would be kind of cool. And maybe like by this frame, it's, let's see, boop, boop, boop. We go frame by frame. Like maybe like Rowney. Like, boom. And then we have this thing hit, like start to fall. Wait. Like this thing fall, like in the background. Like when he punches, it's like falling. Like almost like the environment can feel. And then that thing falls. Doom. And it's like this. When he makes that big hit, we're seeing this huge piece fall. That could be cool. Planning on And that would be a pretty simple sim. But he like punches and it's like the thing falls. It's like the whole world's falling apart. Maybe rocks like tumble in the background. Let's see, pow pow. See, and like in this, what does this look like rendered? They're very frontlit right here, so I might have to do some placing some geo to block them off, but I'll come back to that later. See that one, that move right there, doom. This one would really benefit from like some type of like wind streams coming off of him, like you know, maybe he lands again. More of these things are like cracking. The world's falling apart. Things are bouncing like rocks falling. It would just keep things pretty like, I mean, it's already really dynamic, but then you're just having this like subtle, like everything's falling apart. Look how fast the playback is in Blender, by the way. That was another thing I really was impressed with, was just I feel like in Blender, the animation playback is so fast. Oh yeah, for sure right here, we're doing like ground, like, you know, like that. You gotta draw all that in there. Maybe he has like some energy. I don't know. Like, or it piles up rocks behind him. That would be kind of cool. Like these guys are like gods. Coming in for the wind up. Boom. Oh, wait, he misses. Shoot, boom. Oh, right there. Smashed. Ground crack. I'm wondering for these ground cracks, if I do them in comp and just do like, or I could do them in here actually. I could just I could put a plane down with a crack and then do a, what's it called? It's the skin. It's not skin. It's like surface modifier, whatever. And just do it that way. And do like a crack, almost like using a decal, but for like cracks, so I don't have to even sim anything. That would be cool. Yeah, some dust. Okay. There we go. Such great poses. Oh man, this thing is so rad. I want to see. Again, the lighting is not all done for all these scenes, because see, look, we get to this frame and it's like, what happened? Yeah, we gotta go through each scene. Boom, boom. He did this like slow-mo thing. That definitely needs like the final hit. Like, we could do like a shockwave. Like it has like shockwave come off his body. Doom. And then lots of cracks all through here. So I'm looking to make sure we're not missing anyone. Okay. Cracks. Oh, yeah, right, there we go. Oh, does he hit that? Did he go through that? Because if he goes through, I could add another pillar right there and just have it just like like break through it. That'd be kind of cool. Rocks fallen. No dust. Yeah. He's supposed to throw like a trident or something like that at the very end. But maybe we'll have it be like an energy blast. So yeah, that's super long. We'll see. This is such a cool fight. Yeah, the very end will be interesting. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do for future streams. Oh, okay, guys. That was fun. I had a lot of fun doing this today. That was a good time. Lots of fun things. And hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully it's fun for you guys as well. Sweet. Well, thank you. We had 80 people today. That was amazing. Most of you on Twitter. I'm like, where's my YouTube peeps at? I have way more subscribers on YouTube, but yet not as many people will join live. So Twitter, thank you. God bless. And yeah, we'll be on. I'm going to try to jump on tomorrow for a little bit as well. So if you guys want to join, please. If you guys, please, I would also appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I post a lot of my personal projects, a lot of just my own little creative fun things. VFX Central, YouTube, please subscribe. Love to have you. Please join the live streams on there as well. So youtube.com/VFX Central. If you want to learn VFX stuff, I have one big course called VFX Crash Course on vfxcentral.net. We have stock effects. We have a bunch of fun things. Currently in the process of updating. Let's see. Let me show you guys this. I'm going to share my screen. There you go. This is my new website coming out. Currently, it looks similar, but there's some things I'm going to change. I decided to change. I liked this, but it was too much. It was feeling a little much. And so I'm simplifying and cleaning up. But if you go here, you'll see we have our course, VFX Crash Course, stock effects, all that fun stuff. So if you want any of that stuff, head on over, check it out. Anyway, I think that's it. That's it for today. But thank you so much. 85 people. What the heck? We just got more people joining right before it's about to close. Sorry, guys. We're about to end the live, but thank you so much for joining. Love you all. And if you guys ever have any questions, please shoot me a message. I love getting messages, and I usually am good at responding. I try to have no secrets as far as like techniques. I'm very open. I'll share everything because I just think it makes everyone better. And some of the artists coming up are just absolutely insane and talented. So fastest way you'll get hold of me is probably Twitter. Nope. Instagram or Twitter. Either one. Shoot me a message. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.